very good month for you, and I do sense that it's really important for us to, be very deliberate with our decisions and then moving things forward. Especially, having that sense of divine timing, and especially after you made a decision, don't second guess yourself. Okay, it's really important for you to have that stick-to-itiveness going forward for this month, because I feel like you're on the right track. Okay, the messages that I'm getting for you here, the first one is a good fit. And so I'm seeing some of you are applying for school, applying for programs, applying for grants, or even, trying to wait on news, communication, a decision from an official body. So I feel like a lot of school, trying to get into either a vocational program and trying to wait to see if you're getting accepted, getting acceptance letter from like an institution like school, medical school, I feel for some of you. And I'm also feeling like something that will allow you to move on like full steam ahead with the next phase in your life, either your career or your academic career. I'm seeing that some of you are finalizing a contract so that you can move. So that can basically mean, selling a house, selling a property, um, negotiating for some type of a pension, retirement, early retirement. I'm seeing for some of you, where you can, then put that work situation behind you for good, so you can retire and enjoy, a little bit more leisure travel, and quitting one job and moving on to the next. Okay, I feel like there's a heavy medicine energy, so it could be like physical health. Like you might be looking into medical school, you might be looking into even mental health programs. So like, some of you might be a therapist, for example, and they're saying, the school that is the perfect fit, or the opportunity that is the perfect fit, is going to be made available for you. Okay, so not to worry. What I'm also feeling is, for some of you, I'm sensing as if you're weighing, options. Okay, so you're trying to decide, do I do this or do I do that? I feel some of you might be still be currently employed, and you're looking for employment elsewhere. And so you're being very stealthy about how to not let your current employer know that you're not feeling the work environment anymore, and that you want to jump ship. So I feel like that's the case, and you're trying to keep quiet about it. Okay. I'm also feeling like there's a situation here where you're trying to break free. That's what it feels like to me. Financially, the best feasible decision that you need to make for yourself financially. But there has been some difficulties in trying to, overcome that sense of inertia, overcome that sense of like, I'm stable here, things are really good here, everything is familiar, opportunity will be in the picture for you. And it's really important for you not to doubt, yourself. And it's really important for you to also have that sense of timing, where something happened in your life, it already served its purpose and it should be left behind, but you're still hanging on to it because of security issues. Okay, so it could be a job, it could be a relationship. I don't feel for a lot of you a relationship. I'm feeling more like a specific job, specific location, a specific situation, like a specific environment that brings that sense of familiarity. It's also that sense of status quo. So because of it, you're not able to move away, okay? And you're not able to like move away and create a new life for yourself. I'm feeling as well lack of financial resources for some of you. So you're trying to make a logical decision, either choosing between two schools or choosing between two options, and you're trying to find the one that will give you the most financial security. Okay, so let's just go into this spread. The energy that you're dealing with here is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is a situation where something might have gone awry. There might have been some complaints, is what I usually don't get complaints with this card. But there's a situation where you feel like something is done to you that's wrong, or you're about to do something that you feel is like, below your normal expectation. It's something that is unexpected. It's something that has to be done, kind of like discreetly, and you are trying your best not to draw attention to yourself. Okay, so I'm sensing for some of you, you're dealing with this in a situation where somebody has exposed themselves to be a little bit unscrupulous, and you're really doubting their intentions. You're really doubting whether or not, you should expose them, whether or not you should kick a fuss over this situation, and whether or not you should re-engage with this person. So I'm sensing like there has been something in the work environment that has not been going well for you. And there might have been theft. There might have been somebody, doctoring documents. I'm sensing. And so it's a situation that you're just like, it's not your cup of tea. You don't want to get involved in it. You don't want to associate with the wrong people and, be caught up in the whirlwind of drama. So I'm sensing many of you are trying to, move away from it. If it's a work situation, they're saying that you have stayed there for quite some time. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of restructuring within that work environment. And it's no longer feasible and stable because there has been a lot of complaints and a lot of just I'm sensing a lot of problems that you had to do damage control on, okay? And a lot of problems that are coming to your attention, and you're just like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. So I'm seeing confrontation. I'm seeing just, meddlesome energies too. And so you're trying to find an escape route. And I feel like, you're trying to jump ship. You're trying to apply for other jobs even, and you're trying to not let people know that you're seeking work, because a lot of times if we're currently employed at one place, the new place might call to verify our employment situation, and you don't want your current boss or your current company to know about it. So I feel like you're trying to do the right thing, Pisces, and it's hard, mainly because you don't want to fly under the radar. You try to do, walk on the straight and narrow, and you don't want people to know that you're looking for opportunities elsewhere, okay? And so my advice here is that a lot of the energies that you're dealing with has always been mental or emotional. There's no physical harm. I feel like there isn't anything like physically harmful that you're dealing with, but a lot of the times the fears are coming in a very visceral way to you, because emotionally it's unsettling, and for you mentally because you don't really know how things are gonna resolve themselves. The fears are keeping you stuck. Okay, so because even though, like, it's something mental, it's something emotional, it's not something physically that you're in danger of, I feel like it's still, from your end, it still feels very real. And so as a result of it, I feel like you're keeping yourself, stuck. And you're keeping yourself kind of like turning a blind eye to a situation as well. And so they're pretty much telling you as well, like, who you're dealing with, try to avoid that person. And if it's a situation where you're not happy in a work environment, you're going to really need to defend your territory. You're going to need to take care of yourself. So that means, branching out, looking for other work. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck here and dealing with all of these problems, and, other people coming in, having you do damage control in their own lives. So I feel like it's a little bit problematic for you where you are right now. They're pretty much telling you as well, in the past, there has been a situation where you kept yourself very stuck. You thought the situation was going to get better. You thought, automatically things will improve. Or automatically, I honestly feel like, somebody will come to my rescue. Or the other person will see the errors of their ways, and then things will be okay again. So as long as I stay and try to work at it, things are going to get better. And it didn't get better. And you know that now, but looking back at the past, I feel like now you're ready to fight. Now you're ready to be combative, and now you're ready to, like, take ownership of the situation, okay? And so looking back at the past, you might have been regretful that you didn't get angry enough, that you didn't get out of there soon enough. And so I feel like, in hindsight, there's a lot of clarity coming through, which is allowing you to see a situation for what it is, and for you to finally admit that, it wasn't the best place for me to be. But in order for you to get yourself here, I feel like you have to unbind yourself, and you have to leave that work situation behind. Leave, that troublesome, meddlesome coworker behind. Keep them at arm's length, not letting them in on your secrets, not telling them not telling them your plans, not revealing your intentions. So I feel like there is a major maturation process happening here, and I feel like a lot of it deals with like owning up to like coming into power of our own strength, being a lot more discerning, and at the same time learning like how the smart way to keep people at arm's length without offending them, without like having to, insult them or anything like that. So I feel like you're able to do that because you look back at a situation and you're a lot more cautious about what you reveal. You're cautious about not blending your personal life with your professional life. So I feel like there might have been some office romances that went awry, and you're trying to do some self-correction. Okay, so you're trying to wean that person out of your life. You're trying to move away to a different work environment where you don't have to see that person again, and you're going to have success in doing that. Okay, so I do feel overall it is a very like transitory but a smooth month that you're going to sail over things will be okay, leaving the past behind. A situation where you felt very stuck, you felt like verbally attacked, like people might have been wrongfully, coming to you with a lot of issues. And I'm also sensing as well, I mentioned earlier, I see a lot of students applying for school. I see a lot of people in the medical profession or even like the mental health profession. And I feel almost as if there's a lot of structural changes happening in your current company if you're working. There are a lot of structural changes happening in your current work environment. So you feel there is a need for you to upgrade your skills. And you feel like once you upgrade your skills, the path will be paved for you so that you know the right way to move forward. And I do feel that to a certain extent, upgrading our skills is always going to allow new opportunities to come in, but they're also telling you the self-awareness needs to happen first. Okay, so figuring out who we are, figuring out like where we're headed and where we want to go, I feel like those things need to come in first before the path will be lit for you. So this sense of self-awareness, it needs to happen, and it can't happen if you're like oscillating between two decisions. It can't happen if you're not decisive enough. I see a very strong Libra energy here. It can't happen if you're like procrastinating on a decision. If you're procrastinating on moving away, if you're keeping yourself stuck for fear-based reasons. Okay, so try to grab opportunities when they're coming in, stepping out of your comfort zone geographically, even if you need to, so that you can explore a little bit more what's appropriate for you, so that you can explore whether or not something is worth pursuing. Like maybe it's a bust, and maybe it takes you like 2 months to figure out that maybe this is not the right track for me. So I feel like you have good things trying to come in. And I also feel like other people are telling you, like they're telling you about good ideas that you should pursue. They're telling you how you should, move yourself forward with the next stage in your life. And they themselves are very, very adventurous, and you might not be as adventurous. And they're telling you in a very nonchalant way, you should do this, you should do that, you should, just not operate from fear. But you are the one that has to make these decisions, and there is a lot of fear within this spread coming from your end. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to, do something irreversible. And so as much as they advocate, as much as they talk big about, what you should do, I feel like this is once again the impetus has to come from within, and I feel like you're not there yet, and you will get there. I do sense like throughout this month the transition will happen where you will break away from it. A lot of you, I'm sensing, leaving a geographical location, moving forward and not looking back. Okay, so physically moving. Retirement. A lot of retired people that are still trying to work. Okay, and for whatever reason, you're still trying to work, and you feel like physically you're able to do that. But then has been so many shifts and changes in the current work environment that is really stressing you out. And so I feel like, taking the sabbatical would be good. Taking even that early retirement is actually a really good thing for you to do. I'm also feeling as well, self-employed people, there might be a little bit of a dip in your financial situation, but things will pan pan out for you. Okay, so it basically means, doing a little bit more expansion, relying on internet based, marketing, advertisements, etc., in order to advertise your services. And I do sense that, the clients, the projects, I think that things are going to be picking up for you. It's just going to be a matter of getting through this month. I feel like things are going to right themselves up again. If you're worried, if you're self-employed, if you're worried that you're not able to make the same amount as, the previous months, I feel like this situation is going to alleviate. What I'm also feeling for some of you as well is they say, like, grab opportunities. So they said, like, the right fit, and then they mention grab opportunities when they come in, because I feel like the opportunities might be very small. Initially, it might seem very small, but I feel that it's going to be revolutionizing the way in which you do work, and as well in the ways in which you're going to be able to really enjoy your free time. Okay, and I feel like this clearing up of mental worries. It's almost like feeling a sense of peace that's going to be coming through in the later part of this month. You're going to exhale, you're going to start to breathe, and you're going to feel like, I made the right decision. I'm in really, really good space right now. So I feel like this is mental clarity, the fog lifting. You have a lot of mental clarity, and you're going to feel very, very sure that you're in the right place. Okay, you're going to feel really sure that this is the exact fit for you for the next phase in your life. Okay. There's a lot of spiritual energy coming through for this spread, and I feel like it's trying to point you in the right direction. Somebody's trying to point you in the right direction as to what you need to do, and the only thing that might be holding you back, honestly, might just be fear. Okay, it's fear based, and fear is a very, very powerful thing. It only, exists if we allow it to take over us. Okay, and once again, I feel like it was very, very strong mental energy that's causing the fear, speculations, that's causing the fear, and it's also a lot of just emotional energy that's creating the fear or feeding into the fear. It's not like showing up in the physical way. So I feel like, thinking realistically, what's the harm? Like, thinking realistically, how have I let my fear really interfere with the choices that I make? I feel like that's going to be really important for you. Okay, Pisces. So in terms of love relationships, what I'm feeling is this. I'm feeling that many of you are either taking a risk with a new love relationship partner that's not in your geographical location. So you might have to travel to see them. There might have been like a deepening of the love relationship where you both are trying to, one person is trying to, relocate in order to be with another person. And you're taking this leap of faith, okay? So it's pretty much like faith-based here. And I feel like you will be rewarded. And I feel like a lot of you are just like, if I were to move there, how am I going to be able to make ends meet? Will I find a job right away? Will the relationship work? Will, like, you have all these realistic concerns, which is great. I'm glad you're thinking about these things. And then on the other hand, your partner, if they're the one moving, then they're concerned about the same things. And I feel like they might drag their feet, and you might be pushing them, or they might be pushing you, and I feel like it's creating a little bit of tension in the relationship. Okay, I'm also feeling that for some of you, it just seems to me like, it just feels to me like you've met the one. So I don't know if you've been dating the past few months, but it feels to me like you've met the one. You've met the person that is that fulfills you emotionally, physically, and intellectually. So you've met like a very, very special person, and you're trying to, as a unit, figure out how things are going to work, what's going to happen in the future. And you're also trying to, I see heavy communication from a distance as well. But I feel like you have some really good energies coming through in the love department, okay? We have some strong, heavy air signs coming through in all the spreads. Okay. So let me just talk about the central theme here. We have here the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is basically the card that signifies opportunities abound, okay? There's a lot of heavy communication between you and another person. And I feel like a lot of you are coming into this month in a relationship. And what I'm also feeling as well, the relationship itself is very stable. There's a great sense of reciprocity. I feel like there is a lot, you text them, they text you back. You call them, they call you back. And it's like a mutual exchange of energy. So I feel like it's highly productive and it's highly stable. What's coming through as well is this is a card that also denotes like communications over long distances, okay? And I feel like you've been shuffling back and forth, you and another person, trying to make the relationship work. So you might be at a distance. One person is like, coming over for the weekend with their overnight bag, for example. And then the next week, the other person comes over with their overnight bag. And over time, it becomes a little bit like challenging to coordinate, to work out the logistics, to have to travel and to, figure things out. I'm also feeling as well that the relationship it just feels like very, very difficult, mainly because of the distance. And as a result of that, I'm sensing some of you are trying to take the relationship to the next level, one person moving in with the other, so that you can reduce the commute time, so that you have a lot more time alone together with each other. And I don't see there's any problems with that. However, I do sense as if I do feel as if one person might be pushing the other. Okay, so it seems to me like you're still not ready. It feels like you're the one that's not ready, and the other person might have pushed for more of a commitment. And I'm also feeling like you have a lot on your plate in terms of work, in terms of practical responsibilities. I feel some of you have children, and you might have, custody issues with the ex. So you're not free to move because the ex won't allow, the children to leave the state, leave the city, for example. So I feel like there might have been some contractual agreement that dictates where you are meant to be geographically. And so it's not easy for you to just pick up and move. You have other things that are contingent upon like other people. So there's still lingering attachments here via children. And so I'm sensing that that's a major problem, and it's preventing the relationship from being taken to the next level. It's preventing you from moving. But I do feel there is a lot of attempts from both parties trying to work things out, okay? What I have as well is some of you are dating, like just dating different people. And I feel like we have here a very, very heavy fire sign. So this is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And this can be a male or female, okay? It's a general reading. This is the Queen of Wands. This is somebody that exudes a lot of passion, a lot of sexual energy. So I feel like you have this person in your midst that you're just emotionally really drawn to. You also have this person that you are just, I'm sensing there's so much communication between you and this person. They're very loving, very caring. And when you're around them, they want to give their best to you. You want to give your best to them. And I feel like there is a really good exchange of energy, okay? Even though you're a water sign, they're a fire sign, it just feels to me like it's a really dynamic fit, okay? It's a really good fit. I don't see a lot of turbulence, but I do sense as well, this is somebody that might be a little bit pushy. They want things a specific way. And I also feel like they're very bold when it comes to, how they express themselves. So verbally, they're not shy. And I also feel as well that there might be, for some of you, issues here with exes. And this person is just like, is your ex out of the picture yet? Can we get together yet? So I'm feeling like somebody is pushing someone to get rid of the ex, to, be done with the ex, or not have to deal with the ex, or have that conversation with the ex so that you can move on. I feel like you're being pushed in a specific way. And the person is growing impatient. Whoever is, pushing you for a specific outcome. I feel like they're getting a little bit impatient, and there might have been some on and off type of energy where you might have broken up, for example, mainly because they felt like you weren't devoting to them because you were dragging your feet, or you were trying to get things done, taken care of on your end, and you couldn't do, you couldn't extract yourself from the ex, you couldn't leave the ex, or you couldn't negotiate with the ex for terms of custody even that will allow you to move. So I feel like there is a lot of somebody is like trying to get you to get the ball rolling so that you both can be together, so that you both can, come together. But there's other factors showing up here in your past that's preventing you from moving on. Okay. I'm feeling overall that a lot of you are coming into this month with relationships, like stable relationships. And I'm also feeling as well that if you're with this fire sign, this is a very protective energy. And I'm also feeling, I'm feeling for those who are single, there's something here about having a big crush on like a manager, a supervisor, a trainer, somebody that you really, really admire. And there has been a lot of strife here. Okay, so let me just say this. If you are kind of like on the younger end, okay, this is your card here. This is the Page of Cups. And you're offering your love to another person. I just want you to understand here that they're saying no, mainly because they feel like if they would overstep their boundaries and they would overstep their position if they were to get involved with you, especially if it's like somebody older, and especially if somebody who's like a supervisor or manager or somebody in a position of power over you. Don't get swept away off that, okay? Because a lot of the times it's admiration and you think it's love, you think it's like, infatuation, but it's not. It's a lot of admiration that you have for another person. So don't jump the gun and don't make the work situation awkward because of it, okay? So I feel like you might be telling somebody that how much you like them, and they feel the same way. They admire you, and they like you, but I feel like they're not going to go that route. They're not going to be an appropriate dating partner for you because they're in a position of authority. They want to keep their job. They don't want to take advantage of the situation, and they don't like the way that it would look. It would discredit their work, and it would also ruin their credibility. So it's complicated, but I feel that they're not going to be able to reciprocate, okay? So you have to find people that are more appropriate for you, especially for those who are singles, who are single. And I'm also sensing as well, I'm feeling that in the next phase of your work situation, for those who are shifting work, you're going to encounter a lot of people who are really, really on top of their game, who are very self-sufficient, who are very like assertive. And so it's really important for you to, learn what you can in this situation, because I feel like when it comes to love overall, you are really fascinated. I'm almost seeing this teacher complex, okay? You're very fascinated by people who are doing a lot of work, and especially people who are very highly regarded in their field. And once again, that infatuation, it's admiration, but I feel like from within you, it feels almost like love, and you might be barking up the wrong trees. Just be very careful about that, okay, Pisces? One last thing that I want to leave this off with is a lot of you were in a relationship here from the past where you did all the work, okay? One person did all the work, the other person was just, out and about being irresponsible. And I feel that one person did all the work and the other person just, looked on and didn't want to help. And so moving forward in your next relationship, especially, aim for a lot more reciprocity, okay, Pisces? The relationship will only be healthy if it's an equal exchange of energy. And if the feelings are real, if the feelings are sincere, and there is an equal exchange of energy, who's giving what, who's putting what in to the relationship, that's the only way it's going to pan out, in terms of longevity. Because if there are imbalances, I feel like emotionally you're going to feel very drained. Physically, you're going to feel very drained. And so they're telling you here about, think about patterns. Think about how you've committed yourself in relationships in the past and whether or not you felt like emotionally or even physically drained. Mainly because there are definitely imbalances here that you're letting kind of like slide. And I'm getting here an element of thinking back about the past, about your past 3 relationships, and figure out whether or not, who's contributing what, because it was very, very unbalanced. And because of that, they all fell apart. So I feel like there's this cyclical thing about past 3 relationships not panning out the way that you'd hope because of these reasons. It's like one person did so much work and the other person just looked on. The other person was just like, well, do you need me to help you? And I feel like you're telling them, no, I've got it, even though you needed the help. So it's really important to be, very clear when we communicate, expressing our needs, not playing the martyr, not taking on more than you can, chew, and not taking on more responsibilities than you're physically and emotionally ready for. Okay. So if somebody asks you, do you need help? Is there something I can help you with? Especially a relationship partner, it's really important to be vocal about it. Okay. And don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're burdening them. They're asking, so, it's only fair for you to reciprocate by stating what you really need from them. So I feel like there was 3 failed relationships, mainly because I just feel like the other person, they see you as doing things in a very illogical manner. And then I also feel like for some of you, you did a lot of work in that relationship, and you felt like they looked on, even though they asked you if you needed something. And I feel like you try to do it on your own. So just be clear about our intentions, okay? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. You don't need to be the one all the time that takes on the burden in the relationship, okay? So think back at those past 3 relationships and figure out, if there's a recurring pattern. And if there is, you need to be the one to, focus on that energy change. And you need to be the one to take the steps towards, forging a different path for yourself, because it's bound to repeat if it's, if that's the case. And that's especially for those who are singles, okay? I feel like for coupled people, there's a major move. It seems like to me there's a major, major voyage or major move that's happening for you. It's a little bit stressful, but I feel that you're being helped along the way. Get adequate sleep, okay? I feel like you might misplace things. You might be a little bit more accident prone and absent minded when you're not well rested, okay? You really need that. I feel like a lot of you are also suffering from insomnia, losing sleep at night, getting sleep like 3-4 hours of sleep, and waking up and you can't go back to sleep. So I feel like there is a lot of things happening for this month. You might be losing sleep over it, but I feel like they're not big things. They're just little things that you're letting get to you. And I know it's easier said than done. And I'm the one that's seen this, and you're the one dealing with this. So of course it's harder, but it's really important to, prioritize, okay? Don't leave things to the last minute. Time management is so important for you guys for this month, because I feel like lack of sleep, doing things at the last minute, procrastinating, waiting on decisions from another person, and trying to do everything like by yourself rather than delegating, okay? If you have younger children and you are moving, for example, just make sure you teach them early, give them boxes and teach them how to pack, or, tell them how to pack. Okay. Delegate responsibilities, especially for those who are in a relationship, who are moving. Your children, they're a lot more capable than you think. Okay. So young kids, they learn very quickly. They learn by watching, and they learn by doing as well. So make it a learning experience. Teach them how to do chores. Teach them how to pack for themselves if you are moving, because I feel like you are heavily stressed out and you need to delegate. Okay, so this is the Ten of Wands here. It's a card about feeling very burdened, so it's important for you to delegate. All right, it's going to save you a lot of sleepless nights. Okay. So Pisces, I do wish you all the best. Time management is super important for this month. You're going to be in the right place, okay? You're going to have that perfect fit moment. And a lot of it is just, you need to start moving, okay? I see a lot of like complacency. I see a lot of like this indecisiveness, this classic Libra energy. So it's really important for you to move forward with new projects, new things, new moves, and new, to allow new energies to come through, okay? So I wish you all the best. Have a very wonderful rest of the month, and I'll be back for the mid-month reading, okay? If you'd like to book a private reading with me, please visit my website. The information is in the description box below. If you'd also like to donate to the channel as well, I would greatly appreciate it. The link is also in the description box below. Okay, I'll talk to you in the mid-month reading. Take care of yourself, Pisces. Bye-bye.